Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another indie show preview. I'm your host for these, of course, Dan DP DePreezy, and we are going back into the lovely world of Ontario, Canada, to the town of Barrie. Not the one in Wales, as Jim Lowe will always say. It's not the Welsh one, it's the Canadian one. And we're going to go into the world of Barrie Wrestling as we look at Golden Glory 7. But of course, I am not going to be alone in this venture because, I'm not qualified enough to talk about Barrie Wrestling and Ontarian wrestling. So, I do what I do. I put my hand in and, see what the Barrie Wrestling universe can give me back. And this time we've got a return visitor who's not annoyed with us, clearly, because he came back. So, I am joined by, of course, Three Pistols Championship Challenger, the Barn Burner, Van Landon.
Yes! It's me, everybody. I'm back. I am so happy to be back. And you know what? We're talking all things Barrie Wrestling. We're talking Golden Glory 7. And you know what? I have the biggest match of my career ahead at this show. So I think you guys, you sort of lucked out by getting me. I think the only appropriate second pick would have been Von Vertigo, but I'm sure he's too busy to come on here and do this anyway. So don't worry, and Landon, Mr. Reliable, always here, and I can't wait to get talking Barrie Wrestling with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously we are pleased to have you on and pleased that you accepted our invitation.
Thank you.
But as you said, this is for Golden Glory 7, June 8th, 2024, which is this next Saturday, I believe it is. Yes, next Saturday. So not tomorrow, as the day of recording this. Today's Friday. It's the next week.
Yeah, it's the closest Sunday or the closest Saturday from once you're listening to this. The closest one, just not tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah, if it's somehow on YouTube on the Friday, I don't know how that happened, but of course we are at the Ferris Lane Community Centre, the FLCC Arena, and of course if you wanna buy your entry, you can do so via. I forget now. That's not like me.
Contact Barrie Wrestling. That's the best way to get a ticket. That's your best way to get in the door. Is contact Barrie Wrestling. They set up the tickets. They work with you through all that. Front row sold out. Second row, I'm sure, is going to be gone soon enough. General admission, $20 a ticket. And you don't want to be those fans that get turned away at the door every month, which has regularly been a very awesome issue to have, but we're not trying to disappoint any fans at the same time. We got IWTV where you can check us out monthly, but ensure you're in the building, get your ticket early, purchase it, contact Barrie Wrestling, whether it's through Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. Find them. You can find them and you can secure your ticket and get yourself a seat for Golden Glory 7.
I am so glad that you did all that because I was not prepared for that whatsoever. But no, honestly I forgot that you guys there's not like an online ticket retailer.
No, there's some. There's a lot of places that do offer that, but with a lot of it comes hidden fees and processing fees and hosting fees and all these different things for your event. And, maybe one day, if Barrie outgrows the FLCC, which, I don't think could ever happen, but definitely we have the numbers to potentially outgrow it. And if they ever go to, say, a bigger venue or something even larger that can withhold more people, I'm sure things like that'll happen. But for now, we're old school. You could chance tickets at the door. You could definitely chance it, but don't say Van Landon didn't warn you if you do get turned away. These crowds are always selling out.
Yeah, absolutely, they are. And as you said, front row's already gone. That goes probably within maybe a day or two of the show going out. Like it's honestly insane. Like, and this is part of the reason why I say Barrie Wrestling's a hidden gem in the Canadian wrestling scene. Because it's that one show that if you know it, you know it. But if you don't know it, you're missing out.
And I think even locally, that's really been a key theme for Barrie. It's very much a hidden gem. Obviously, in Ontario, we're hidden in plain sight. But what happens up at Barrie Wrestling is very special. From an in-ring standpoint, from a storytelling standpoint, and overall, just from a sheer atmosphere standpoint. Mm-hmm. Everybody that's been in the FLCC firsthand would agree with me on that, and yeah, it's something special.
Absolutely. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead and do what the video or stream title says. This is, of course, a show preview, and we're going to go ahead and preview Golden Glory 7, June 8th.
Here we go.
So, there are 7 announced matches, one of which is a questionable if it's going to happen or not because of injury, but we'll get to that.
Yes.
But we'll kick things off on a hot note with the Barrie Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. And there's a reason why I've gone here first. So,
yeah.
we have the champion, Jesse V, taking on the number 1 contender, Myung Jae Lee.
There you have it. Myung Jae Lee, somebody who I'm not too fond of personally, but all credit where credit is due, earned that number 1 contendership spot, and he earned it in a tough 4-way matchup. Mm-hmm. So, I'll give him that credit at least. I don't have to like the guy, but he's going up against Jesse V, an absolute monster heavyweight champion in Barrie. Mm-hmm. Somebody who I have been on the receiving end of offense from, and let me tell you, it's not fun. And, yeah, I mean, for me, you know, personal bias aside, I still have to go with Jesse V. You know, I don't like Myung Jae Lee. I don't want to see him win. And that partially goes to why I choose Jesse V, but also, as skilled as Myung Jae Lee is, I think Jesse V is going to use his sheer size and power to be able to control the pace going into that matchup.
Yeah, I couldn't have waited about myself. I'm also on the side of it being Jesse V who retains here, which is not a slight at all on Myung Jae Lee. Myung Jae Lee is an incredible competitor, despite what you may think of him. He did win the Fatal 4-Way in questionable circumstances because it's no DQ Fatal 4-Way anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But, you know, low blow roll up. Is that honourable?
I'd like to see him try and low blow roll up Jesse V if that's what he wants to do. And it's easy for you to agree with Jesse, and of course you hold no personal bias against Myung Jae Lee, but you come back to me eventually. If Myung Jae Lee ever kicks you in the nuts, I want to hear your opinion again on him, you know, if that happens.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope it don't happen to me, personally. I'm not a fan of that happening. But, again, it's not a slight on Myung Jae Lee. It's just looking at Jesse V's reign so far, the caliber of opponent that he's faced so far. Like, it's hard to overestimate, hard to underestimate. It's just, he is a walking beast. He's a walking freak of nature. Like...
there's not many people, whether they're fans, wrestlers, staff, doesn't matter. On Saturday, June 8th, when we all gather for Golden Glory 7th, Jesse V will stand above all of us in in terms of sheer size and mass. All of us. Mm-hmm. There's only one Jesse V. And that's, yeah.
And that is him, yes.
Yeah.
But of course, so we're both going on the side of Jesse V here. But, looking at all the realm of possibility, and it's not necessarily one that you may want to look at, but what if, in the parallel world or in the realm of possibility, Myung Jae Lee could pick up the win. He's got the speed, he's got the agility advantage.
I mean, like you said, all the credits to him. He beat 3 competitors to get himself this opportunity. Mm-hmm. He was the longest reigning 3 Pistols champion. A very credited individual when it comes to Barrie Wrestling hierarchy. Mm-hmm. And I think that if Myung Jae Lee were able to pull out the victory, I'm not really sure what it would mean for the Barrie Wrestling landscape. As we know, he's sort of a loner at the moment, not really tied to any group or faction. So I would be interesting to see where he would take the title. Mm-hmm. Would he be a fighting champion like Jesse V is? Or, and this is my personal prediction, would he just, avoid shows, not want to come defend it, and be a coward? But that's my personal prediction. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, it's definitely a question that would be very interesting to see answered in the case of Myung Jae Lee winning title here. But again, I think we're both in agreement that it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, I'm rooting for you, Jesse. Eat him up for me.
So, we move on from that match to another world title, but of the opposite gender.
Ooh,
go to the Barrie Wrestling Women's Championship. Here
we go.
We've got the Queen of Barrie Wrestling, Shiloh, taking on Nova.
This is going to be a big-time matchup.
Mm-hmm.
These 2 ladies have been absolutely killing it everywhere they go. And it's colliding here in Barrie with a huge stake at risk, the Barrie Wrestling Women's title. Now, if I were a betting man, Shiloh and her royal family goons are absolute menaces when it comes to a one-on-one match. They don't like to play by the rules too much.
No.
And Shiloh is the queen of Barrie, the self-proclaimed queen of Barrie. Like I said, if I were a betting man, I would bet that Shiloh would likely involve as much royal shenanigan as she is required to retain that title. And nothing against Nova, who in my opinion has her beat on paper. On paper, one-on-one, I would have Nova taking it. But with Shiloh's reign of terror as the queen of Barrie Wrestling, I think there's just too many cards stacked in favor of the queen. Mm-hmm. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I find it quite hard to disagree with that. I think Shiloh, as you said, her reign of terror, she rules the royal family with an iron fist. It's hard to look past her as champion because she's been champion for how long now, and it's hard to see anyone in a position where they could beat her and vis-a-vis the royal family, because as you said, they're going to get involved, or they're most likely going to get involved. You got Kyle, of course. You got Grizzly. You got
Musso.
I guess Musso, but I don't know if he's more.
And then, the wild card in there is my friend, Pretty Ricky, who I think the Queen has now dubbed Richard for some reason, like just Richard. So
yeah,
I don't know what's going on I don't know what's going on over there, but like I said, on paper, Nova has this match. And in a perfect world, she could get the job done quick enough, easy enough, to eliminate any outside factors potentially occurring. You know? But Shiloh's got a lot of tricks up her Kill Bill-esque sleeves. So.
And exactly, and also like people who are thinking, Nova's got top tier talent, right? It's hard. It's also hard to forget that Shiloh and the Royal Family made a dealing with Clay Wilson and top tier talent to take a dive. That was an agreement they had. There's a working agreement there. So with that in mind, is Nova part of top tier talent to that extent? Does the business relationship apply to her in this instance? Will John Atlas and Co.
Yeah. Nova is undoubtedly top tier. However, where her alliance may be right now, I think is a little bit more uncertain. And I would like to believe that despite any pushings or offerings from John Atlas and his top tier goons as well. Everyone's goons in Barrie Wrestling, it seems. But I would hope that Nova is, strong-minded enough to realize the opportunity that she has and won't let any of those outside factors plague her mind.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be a match that you're gonna want to see, and so you can only see at Barrie Wrestling.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely true. You will not see anything else like either of these matches we've talked about.
Yeah.
Anywhere else, Barrie Wrestling is the place to be.
Absolutely. But speaking of the place to be, unfortunately, it's not all great news. It's not all good stuff. So we're moving away from title matches, and we're going into the non-title matches now. Before we get to the final one that we'll talk about towards at the end.
Okay.
So we were supposed to have a match between the self-proclaimed King of Barrie, Carl Boone, and Alexia Nicole.
Yes.
So there's not been an official statement or anything about this, but I'm assuming it's off because Alexia is out for the foreseeable future. Does Kyle still have a match, or is he getting off scot-free?
First and foremost, I want to give a huge shout out to Alexia Nicole, who is an absolute star, and sort of the health issues that she's going through right now. Obviously, you can search for that yourself and read all about it. I don't need to be the one to talk about it, but we're all here sending our well wishes and our love to you, especially, your Barrie Wrestling family. That beyond just me, beyond Barrie Wrestling management, the fans, of course, we're all thinking of you. We're all, supporting you in your recovery. There is ways to still support Alexia financially if you so can. Barrie Wrestling on Instagram, I know they might have even shared it on Facebook, has the link to Alexia Nicole's personal store where she sells all different kinds of wrestling stuff related to her. And if anyone can and would like to support her, please take a look at that. And Alexia, I hope you are back in the ring soon enough, because this was a huge loss for not just Barrie, not even just Ontario, but Canadian wrestling. Yeah, just took a huge loss there with that one. Sidetracking there with that, but we're thinking of you, Alexia. Yeah, the match, at least as far as I'm concerned, likely isn't happening. However, you talk about the opponent. You talk about Kyle Boone. I've been in locker rooms with Kyle Boone. I've been in matches against Kyle Boone. I've bared witness to him and his royal shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't put it past me if Kyle Boone celebrates this like he just won the Stanley Cup. Shout out NHL, but Kyle Boone is not a pleasant individual. If anything, he's so egotistical that he's going to take this opportunity, a true injury, somebody is going to be out now, and take it as a royal family victory, which, I mean, I don't stand for it. But again, I'm going to have my mind focus on other things that night, so there's nothing I can really do about it. But Kyle Boone, you got off easy this time. But if Alexia were fighting you, I would have had Alexia all day, and it wouldn't even been up for a debate.
No, I would have been in that same boat. And to quickly go back to Alexia as well, I'll put her personal links in the video description below.
There it is.
As well.
Thank you.
Just for anyone who Barrie Wrestling fan from the UK or from anywhere else in the world who haven't had to be a fan of Alexia Nicole, then please, by all means, if you can, support her. Just support her journey and her recovery.
She's awesome.
Absolutely. She's like, it's as you said, like a loss to not just, Ontario or even Canada or America. I would say a loss to just pro wrestling as it is.
Big time. And I really hope, there was, she had put out some rumblings about a potential timeline. I just hope that everything's smooth sailing and that she recovers and gets to where she needs to be, because
absolutely.
God, is she ever good at what she does.
Yeah. But of course we are saying that, Kyle might, get off scot-free. He might not have an opponent. But we know what, Barrett's management are like. The odds are there might be a replacement. And with that in mind, there's a whole locker room of people who aren't booked so far on this show.
There's so many potential options. Almost too many to even get into.
What if we just bring them all out for a handicap match?
You bring them all out for a handicap match. Like I said, if I wasn't busy with my stuff, Kyle Boone, I would be out there whooping you, because you're not getting out scot-free after this one. So I mean, time will tell. The live audience will know first. IWTV, you can find out what happens after the fact. But oh man, that's a good idea. Ooh, maybe I should let some people know. Maybe I should call up some of my friends and see if they're busy or if they want to be in a handicap match.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
But so we move on from that and we go into another non-title match, a singles match. I would argue this is a special attraction match as well. So we got, of course, the Golden Gun, Mark Wheeler.
Yes.
Taking on international superstar Amir Jordan.
Yes. This is absolutely a special attraction match. And I could flip a coin right now and heads or tails and you could pick a winner. I have gotten to witness Amir Jordan's full capability on Canadian soil. In Ontario, he has done a shot at Barrie once before, but he's also made the towns all around the other areas. So I've gotten to see what Amir Jordan's capable of. Mark Wheeler, on the other hand, no stranger to success. An absolute unit when it comes to just being a physical presence, absolutely explosively athletic. If you were creating a wrestler in a video game, 9 times out of 10, he's going to end up resembling Mark Wheeler. Whether it's based on the moveset, based off his physical just look, he is money, and he's got it written all over him. I'm shocked he's not signed, to be honest. But when it comes down to this special attraction match, Mark Wheeler, Amir Jordan. Like I said, you could flip a coin and get a winner out of this one. But I gotta go with my local boy, Mark Wheeler. I just gotta go with him. I think he's gonna have a little bit of an edge, being, a Barrie Wrestling original, if you will. By being here for so long, he's gonna have that audience edge behind him,
Mm-hmm.
and I think and I hope that this will be a big victory for him.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I agree. Honestly, I'm in a similar boat to you. I'm not seeing him on Canadian soil, but I've seen Amir Jordan wrestle on TV. He wrestled in the UK, which is where I'm based. He's wrestled all over.
Yeah.
He has. So I am familiar with what Amir can do, and I'm also familiar with what Mark Wheeler can do. It's just as you said. I think Mark Wheeler's got a bit of an experience edge. I think he's got the home soil advantage. I think there's just Mark Wheeler's a former world champion as well, former heavyweight champion. I think he's like one of the few who held every title that he can in Barrie Wrestling.
Yeah.
So I think there's there's a lot more in Wheeler's wheelhouse than there is on Amir Jordan's.
I agree with that. Yeah, Grand Slam champion in Barrie. So I mean, for him, call it a special attraction match. For him, it's another Saturday at the FLCC.
Yeah, exactly. But on that saying, on the other side of the coin, are we underestimating Amir Jordan?
I think we are, to be honest. I really think we are. NXT UK, WWE byproduct.
Mm-hmm.
He's been all across the UK scene. And while that I'm not so familiar with that I can't necessarily list a promotion that he's been a Grand Slam champion for, Amir Jordan is no stranger to the bright lights and the big pressure. And I think absolutely we are underestimating him. We got the bit of a Barrie Wrestling favorite edge, giving it to Mark Wheeler. But Amir Jordan is not going to lie down easy. No. That flight from the UK to Canada is long. And if you think he's coming all this way to just lay down and, sell some t-shirts, he's not. He's coming to prove his worth and better himself and improve. And that's exactly what a match, iron sharpens iron, Wheeler Jordan, that's what we're going to get.
Absolutely, yeah. And also, think about the last time he was here in Barrie Wrestling. He was in a losing effort. So with that
against Von Vertigo.
But is that in the back of his head? Like last time I was here, I lost. I've got to redeem myself. I've got to redeem that loss.
That coming off of a loss is way tougher.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Wheeler last show coming off of a loss in the 4-way.
But
so you got two guys. It didn't get pinned, but he's not number one contender.
True.
So we got two people who weren't in that win column last time around, let's just say. And so, definitely for Amir Jordan, he wants to impress the Barrie Wrestling fans. Wheeler has been impressing him for a long time, and that's where I think his experience factor might edge him out. But Amir Jordan, taking that flight from the UK to Canada, driving up the highway, coming up to Barrie, he's not going to go down easy.
No, absolutely not. Either way, again, and we'll keep saying this, it's the sort of match that you only see in Barrie Wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll move on now to the penultimate match that we're going to cover here, which is... I'm not sure what the best word is for it. But... so we have the return of the sanctimonious Wild Rovers match. This is known as Leg 2.
Rovers Leg 2. And boy, oh boy, is this gonna get out of control.
Yes, absolutely will.
When I saw Wild Rovers is coming back, numero dos, Leg 2, when I saw that Wild Rovers was coming back, I just thought back to the original. Mm-hmm. And fans, you can check out the original. I believe it's free on YouTube. Mm-hmm. No IWTV required. Search up Barrie Wrestling's Wild Rovers match. And if you're a fan of football. And I'm not talking NFL. I'm talking soccer football. There you go. If you're a fan of football and you're a fan of wrestling, this is a match that was quite literally brainchild and spewed out for your entertainment. The Wild Rovers match combining elements of football, rules of football with the industry or the interesting industry that is pro wrestling. And it's 4-on-4. So you got your teams.
Mm-hmm.
There's a mystery component to it. You don't know who one person is gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, yeah. There's really not much I can say other than you really need to see this for yourself to believe this. Check out match 1, or leg 1, I guess, as it now will be commonly referred to. But we got quite a match here. I'm excited.
Yes, absolutely, and I'll quickly run it down as well. So at the last one that they had, leg 1, it was Triple Dragon, Puff and Pretty Ricky Wilde, with Bobby Orlando taking on Stratosphere, Anthony Musso, and Isaiah Prince. That was a 3-on-3. And that was chaotic enough. This year, we've added 2 more people to this. So this year, we've got Stratosphere, who, demanded the match happen because of the upcoming Euros tournament. We've got Australian Takeover, both Kaz Jordan and Julian Ward. We've got Gabriel Fraser. And that's one side. And on the other side, you've got the Royal Family, which is Grizzly Mac, Anthony Musso, and Richard Wilde, with a mystery component, as you said.
Mystery component. And my ear is to the ground when it comes to all things pro. But Barrie Wrestling, man, I've been calling. There's no rumors, no rumblings. I even subscribed to Fightful and didn't even get anything back for trying to find out who this mystery wrestler could be. I've heard rumblings that it could be Ronaldo making a pro wrestling debut. Lionel Messi was available for the date, but I don't think they could come to terms on a price. Even Coach of the Year, Ted Lasso, I think was one that people had reached out to, but I don't know. I just see a mystery person on that poster. I know it's not going to be me, so don't expect to see Van Landon in the Wild Rovers match. But all I know is that nothing is for sure when it comes to that mystery man.
Absolutely. And, not to, I'm not a Barrie Wrestling regular or anything like that. I'm not a super fan or anything like that. But, to throw, speculation out there, to throw potential names into the hat, there is someone who just on the last show got their Barrie Wrestling ban revoked.
Oh, so Flatliners. Yes, potentially. Ooh, Flatliners. I see that. I see that potentially.
Mm.
It's funny you mentioned that they got their ban revoked. I thought you were going a different way with it, and I thought you were talking about the person who did get fired, banned. Right. But I was gonna say, good riddance. Like, we won't have him, so he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not gonna be the Clydesdale because ATO's on the other team, so he's not gonna go against them. John Atlas out. This is an interesting choice. Like I said, my ears to the ground, but I've heard no rumblings of who this mystery could be. Couldn't even be a wrestler. It could be just a straight up football player at this point.
Yeah.
And no, I'm not talking about the NFL once again.
You never know. It could be an absolute wild card. It could be Mike Jeffries.
It could be Mike Jeffries. Mike Jeffries, if it's you and you didn't tell me about this, I'm gonna be mad. I gave you the scoops, Mike Jeffries, and I would be mad. Diamond Jim? Maybe Tyler from Count It Out?
Yeah.
Maybe even Shelly King Weiss, our illustrious ring bell ringer. I would love to see any one of them get involved, but not physically hurt. I like all these people, so maybe don't get involved, but still be involved. I don't know. Figure it out.
Right. So, with that covered, we've got one more left.
Hey you. Yeah, you. Do you like this video? There is a button. It's a very sexy button. It says subscribe on it. I wish I could click on it, but YouTube won't let me. Damn fuckers.
And now we will go into the final match of the preview. The match that, of course, involves our dear guest here. A match that is, to him, his main event, his story, his white whale.
Yeah.
Is, of course, the Three Pistols Championship match. Where, of course, Rajan Husher is banned from ringside. So it is a pure one-on-one encounter between the champion, Vaughn Vertigo, and the challenger, Van Landon.
I don't even know where to begin with this. But for everyone listening, I'll just tell you how it is. Because there's not really a better way to put it. Starting with the match, though, you made mention, the rules are at least in my favor. Vision, the combo of Von Vertigo and Rajan Husher, will not be able to act together. Husher has been a thorn in my side for months now. Almost even over a year, I would say. He has been a constant problem ever since he showed up and smashed a painting over my head. I would later find out why he did it. But he's been nothing but trouble. Even in our Three Pistols match, not me and Husher, but me, Myung-Jae Lee, and Von Vertigo, Husher and I fought in, like, the backstage. There weren't even fans back there, and I had to beat this guy up for, like, 5 minutes. I ended up hitting him with a chair to get him off of me. Like, also, I could make my way back out to the ring. So by having these rules in place, no outside interference, I wasn't going to have any anyway. But it just, it's helping me out. It's putting the odds just a little bit more in my favor. But that's the match. That's the stipulation. The Three Pistols title is on the line. I have never been a champion in Barrie Wrestling, let alone a tag team, a singles, doesn't matter. I've never been a champion. I've been close a lot of times. I've competed for all the different titles, but I've never won. And so what this match means to me, it's honestly the biggest match of my career. Easily. I think that arguably my life, my existence on this planet has led me to June 8th. And you may be thinking, wow, Van, that's such an exaggeration. Like, get over yourself. No. And I'm going to break it down for you real quick. Flashback to 2014, 2015. The formation of Barrie Wrestling. We're celebrating 10 years this year. Young Van Landon, 16, 17 years old at the time, a constant fan attending the Barrie Wrestling shows. Looking at these local competitors like they were the heroes that I saw on television. And that's because that's what we are, just at a different level. One name in particular, Vaughn Vertigo. A shorter, brown hair, long hair, kind of skinnier guy at the time, doing lots of cool, high-flying, flashy moves, is an instant favorite of mine because of how similar we were. And back then, I didn't realize just how similar we really were. As time passed, Von Vertigo was able to, carve a legacy out for himself here in Ontario indie wrestling, but especially at Barrie Wrestling. Being, I believe, a Triple Crown champion as well as a former king of Barrie, a true king of Barrie. And back then, this was somebody that I followed, aspired to be. I made Von Vertigo fan art from his time in Barrie Wrestling back when I was just a fan. He was always somewhat of a shadow mentor, whether he knew it or not. I was watching him and I was learning from what he was doing. Whether it was going across the pond and wrestling in Europe, whether it was flying across Canada and doing his thing around here. Von Vertigo is somebody to very easily be inspired by. And that's exactly what had happened. Fast forward to my wrestling training, and the first time I ever met Von Vertigo, it was actually inside of a Barrie Wrestling ring. Here's a name, Johnny Devine, former TNA alumni, graduate of the Hart Dungeon in Calgary. He was one time a guest at Barrie Wrestling, and he hosted a seminar. I, not yet professionally trained at a school, took every seminar chance I could to learn the business, to absorb the career path that I wanted to take. So I was in this Johnny Devine seminar. And there was something different about it. Most of the seminars, you would see a lot of people like me then at the time. Rookies, people who want to do it, people who want to try it. But Johnny Devine comes in, and there's Von Vertigo, here to learn. Whoa, he's just like me. He shakes my hand. Hi, Von. Nice to meet you. That was the first time we met, ever, inside of a Barrie Wrestling ring. We shook hands. That would have been in 2017, say. I got to watch him do his thing while I went and got myself trained. Went to the Hamilton Pro Wrestling Academy, trained with Rip Impact, started professional wrestling in 2019. I've been at this now for 5 years. He's got the experience edge over me. Going into this matchup, everything is at stake. Everything that I have fought for, everything that I have sacrificed as a human being to get to where I am. All the missed celebrations, all the long drives, all the sore backs and bruises and black eyes and all of this. That is the work that I dedicated to professional wrestling to get to the level that I'm at today. Von Vertigo, you're already there. You're so big that you've forgot about the place that really gave you your start, and that is Barrie Wrestling, my hometown. They call me the hometown hero there, and it's more than just a moniker, because I live and die by that. They are my people, and they have always had my back. And Vertigo, you get some opportunities elsewhere here and there, and all of a sudden your ego inflates to unimaginable levels, and all of a sudden you forgot everything that really matters, and that's family. Barrie Wrestling is a family. It always has been for me. And it's clear that you want nothing to do with it anymore. You want absolutely nothing to do with it anymore. You hold on to that Three Pistols title like it's a burden. You try to not defend it. You avoid me like I'm the plague because you know what I'm capable of. On Vertigo, June 8th, Golden Glory 7. The biggest opportunity in my career. And no matter if it's win, lose, or draw, what I'm bringing to that match is something that I don't think the Barrie Wrestling fans have seen come out of me just yet. Because I'm leaving everything that I have ever put into this is being left on the canvas in that ring on June 8th. And I'll know for sure just how I measure up against the measuring stick visionary Von Vertigo. And boy, like, I mean, I didn't mean to go long there, but this is where I'm at. It's bothered me for a while now. Letting that out helps, but getting my hands on him is really, it's going to make the difference. And my prediction, Van Landon wins. There's my prediction. If I have anything to do with it, I'm gonna frickin' stomp his face in. However, I'm not gonna be naive in thinking that it's gonna be easy and that it's gonna be a cakewalk. I know what he's capable of. I know his experience. I know his moves. I've studied his tapes. I know what he could do. I know a lot of people that he's beaten. Win, lose, or draw, it's gonna be an absolute war. That's all I got.
If that doesn't put into perspective how big of a match this is, then I don't know what else you need to hear or see. It doesn't even feel right me talking after that, but I mean, I can't follow on or give any insight after what you've just said. You've covered everything. And again, if that's not enough to sell you to get a ticket for this show, to see this match, or to even watch it afterwards on VOD, like, I can't help you. There's no hope for you. But no, it should be an incredible match. And, you know, however the end result goes, it should be, on paper, a one-on-one encounter.
Yes.
And I won't give a prediction because it just doesn't feel right to do it with one of the participants in that match here.
I would have took the bias. I'm voting for Van, but I appreciate your unbiased journalism.
Hey, if anything, we're unbiased here. But no, of course, with that in mind, that does bring an end to this show preview. I've noticed that the overlay says show review, but that is what it is. This has been a show preview for Barrie Wrestling Golden Glory 7 on June 8th. Get your tickets while you still can. Don't take a chance at the door because there's a good chance you might get turned away. And if you can't make it there for whatever reason, then you can go see it on IWTV, Barrie Wrestling, put in the code Barrie400. I'm not sure what that does, but I've been told to say that. But yeah, with that in mind, I've been Dan, DP DePreezy, and this has been maybe the future Three Pistols champion, Van Landon.
Thank you. See you guys soon.